Hi Cancer, Amber here, Symbols for Living. Welcome to your July through to August. How does he or she feel about me reading? It's actually from July 15th through to August 15th. But as I find with most readings, there's no clear definitive point as to when the energies start and end. They kind of merge into each other, so there's always an overlap. So it could very well be a reading from way back at the beginning of July right through to the end of August, really. Um, yeah, let's see what energies are being shown to us here. So this is, as I said, your reading for answering the question as to how he or she feels about you. So this will be your partner, your boyfriend, girlfriend, crush, possibly even secret admirer, but someone who's romantically got your attention and is romantically in your life, whether you know it or not. So, all right. So at the center of the reading, we've got Five of Cups and the Two of Wands. So definite disappointment. Your partner is feeling disappointed with the outcome, maybe of the relationship so far. They may feel that they may be feeling quite regretful about some sort of loss. They may have recently lost you. There may have been an argument where they now feel that they've lost something, that they've lost their better half, like they've lost the good stuff, and they're quite regretful of what they've had to let go of, but they recognize that, or they feel as if it's their fault. They feel as if there's something that they've done, or they could have done it differently, and maybe it would have changed the outcome. But ultimately, with the Two of Wands here, it says that maybe a choice needed to be made by them in order to choose a definite path. And in that choosing, they've had to let go of something. So I don't know what's happened specifically with you guys, but your partner is definitely feeling like, having to make this choice has been quite hard for them. And they're kind of wallowing over what they've lost rather than what is to be gained here. So yeah, that's basically what the central position is saying. That's how they feel about you. They feel like they've lost something. They may feel like you're a person who is having to let things go as well, and that you are having to strike out on a new path, and in effect having to let something go. It's interesting as well because in terms of their intentions, we've got the Six of Swords. It's like a moving on, but it's a moving on in a more positive direction. So they do intend to pick up the pace, to kind of get their mind straight and move forward, knowing that what they move forward to is stability, security, and assurance, and a more stable commitment as well. Centrally, in terms of how they feel about you, you're being advised to really connect to your heart space. Now, the Queen of Cups represents Cancerians, Pisceans, and always get a blank. Cancerians, Pisceans, and Scorpions. Okay, so this for me is representing you. So it's like maybe it's the cards are just saying to really just stand your ground, be who you are, be true to yourself, connect to your emotions, don't be heartless, be compassionate, use your nurturing energy to help your partner possibly move in this new, more positive direction that they have chosen, and to be sympathetic and empathetic to what they're going through. The Queen of Cups is great for managing people's emotions or helping people through emotional difficulty, and is often seen as a good friend as well, a very good supportive friend who's got that feminine nurturing side to them. So that's the advice for you here, is to be there for them in that way, which shouldn't be too hard for you, as as a Cancerian would kind of be your natural kind of mode of being anyway. So yeah, it's just about kind of really being yourself and really using your natural talents to assist your partner, I guess, through this process. Or even just, if you have broken up with them, it's a case of being compassionate. They may still want to have some closure, and it's just about being patient and giving them that closure if they need it. Being kind in the breakup, but they do intend to move on. I mean, if you guys have broken up, they are intending to move on and to find something more stable. But as this is a reading pertaining to, relationships that are kind of ongoing, rather than endings per se, more kind of relationships that have life in them, that are going on, I would say that it's more of a personal loss this person has taken, and they just need your support. But I think it could have something to do with work as well, possibly. But this is how they're feeling. It could have something to do with work, simply because it's a Wands and there's a Pentacle that's shown up in two parts of the reading. But as it's in the position of how they feel about you, it's probably more so the fact that they've had to make a choice. Maybe they've had to move to be with you. Maybe they feel like you won't forgive them for something and they're trying to turn a new leaf, but they can't quite let go of what's happened in the past. There could have been some harsh words said in the past, because we do have the Five of Wands, and then we've got the Five of Swords here, and then we've got like the Six of Swords, wanting to move on from that kind of stress. It looks like towards the end of the periods that the reading covers, your partner will be again faced with a choice, and this time the choice will be made based on their they may be quite defensive in their choice. But when I say defensive in their choice, like, they may be coming from a defensive place, a non-trusting place, a kind of hurt place, when making this decision. And that's why the Five of Swords are probably there, because they're now not in their emotions anymore. They're like, I've had enough of being swayed by my emotions, or I've had enough of my emotions getting the better of me, or it could be that I've just really had enough of feeling bad and I'm going to do whatever it takes to feel better. And it's almost like for them it's necessary to be that ruthless in the future. As far as they feel that they need to be a bit heartless in order to get through this emotional loss that they've experienced. In terms of how they think about the situation, down here we've got the Five of Coins and the World card. So they're thinking again about their loss. We've got almost all the fives here. Actually, we do have all the fives here. So this is about change for your partner, or for both of you. There's some sort of change that you guys are going through. So you're kind of in a state of flux, which is probably why the intentions and the advice to you here is to wait. You have to be patient. You've got no control over this change. You've got no control at all. And the best thing you can do is use the time wisely to gather your thoughts, really assess your perspective on the situation, possibly even gain a new perspective on the situation to kind of free up your mind, to open up your mind. The Hanged Man also talks about letting go. So there may be a process that you need to go through where you're letting go of some past pain, past disappointments, and past issues that you both faced. It looks like it will take time, and you will need to be patient. The good news is that we do have the Sun card at the base of the deck, and the Eight of Wands and the Seven of Wands. So this talks about being resilient, standing your ground, and sometimes having to put the work in, having to actually physically and mentally like really be determined to stand your ground and to stop things falling apart, you know, to stop maybe other people's interference, to stop negative thoughts. It's just this kind of defiance to make sure that things go your way. And just having to be resilient. It's actually really similar to the Nine of Wands, but this is more active. You know, this is more actually doing things, putting things in place to make sure that things don't, you know, get out of hand or fall apart. And the Eight of Wands here talks about, again, having this real conviction about the direction that you want things to go in. So this is going to require like conviction, and the conviction really is that you guys have got a genuine bond, and that you are really quite, you know, quite soulmate material. And you probably are very good friends, you probably get along very well, you're probably very close, you see eye to eye, you know, you understand each other. And I think it's leaning on that understanding of each other and understanding each other and being on the same page will help a lot in terms of moving forward with the relationship. But it will take this kind of effort and work to keep things going in the direction that you want. And then there is this reevaluation as well that may need to be done. And the reevaluation may be a lot to do with the Hangman, like looking to see what happened in the past, how did we get here, and all of that kind of thing, and then deciding on maybe a change in direction, which it looks like your partner wants to do. Your partner kind of wants to move into a more positive, stable place with you, and you're just required to kind of be patient and wait. I guess wait for your partner to figure things out. But your partner's whole aim is stability. Is the King of Pentacles. It's financial stability. It could have been a financial loss that he's faced. Like I said, it could be that it could be some sort of change of job that they're experiencing, and they're just looking for that monetary security again. Maybe they've been demoted, you know, or something. Maybe something's gone on. Maybe they made a mistake at work. I don't know. And you know, they just need compassion and a break and understanding, I think. And I think they're looking at you for that as well. As I was saying, with the Five of Coins, there's just like he or she is feeling, and like really feeling out of pocket, really feeling like they've lost their sense of self-esteem, they've lost their sense of value. They literally feel like really, really low. But ultimately, it was like with the World card here, it's like saying that it was almost necessary. It's not almost, but it was necessary for your partner to go through this process. Like they had to, there was, whatever they were at before, if it is pertaining to this relationship, it's funny that the relationship seems to be, for me, more about this person losing something external to the relationship. But if they have lost the relationship, if they have lost your trust, if they have lost that closeness with you because of things that were said and bickering, choices that they've made, then they're really feeling it. But through it all, they now know your value. You know, they've now learnt their lesson with the World card. It's kind of come full circle. So the good news is that now they're able to completely start a new leaf. And yeah, they had to learn these lessons. It was bound to happen. It was like destined. They were on that path anyway. Um, but yeah, they're just thinking that, and with the World card here as well, it could be that they've really found that you are worth so much. They recognize that you are worth quite a lot. In fact, you're worth the world. I think they feel that you're wise, you're stable, and you're mature. And they may feel like they fall short, in your presence or with you. They may not feel that like they even deserve you, and they may feel that way maybe because of loss of job or mistakes they've made in the past with you, and now they're looking to kind of be more stable, be more reliable, be more financially stable as well. And your advice here is to, accept this new start, to grab this new start, to really run with it. Sorry, 1 minute. But yeah, to really run with this new start, to really embrace it, and to be passionate about it. So it may be that you're asked to kind of bring in a lot of energy into this as a support, maybe to your partner. Um, it is a new beginning for your partner, and it's also a new beginning for you as well, although there will be some waiting involved. Okay, so we've got the King of Swords here and the Temperance card in the past. So in the past, with the King of Swords, your partner was feeling that you were maybe quite resilient, very clever, as I've said before, very smart, very much in control of their emotions and their thoughts, and quite determined to kind of get to wherever you wanted to get to. So you were quite, you may have been quite dominant. You were very clever. You were able to probably win every argument, make things work your way, able to be quite the authority in the relationship. They themselves might have felt like they were quite an authority as well. Maybe this pertaining to work. They may have felt like in the past they were, the boss of the workplace, or, had their own business. However, Temperance is here, which tells me that maybe, it was too imbalanced in the past. Maybe they were way too focused on, being this strategically minded person, focused on work and business all the time, and it got to a point where maybe they were in need of healing, with the Temperance card here. And that's exactly what happened. It was like some sort of outpouring of emotion, a welling up of emotion that came to the surface, that he or she then had to deal with. And then also strike a balance with that as well. So yeah, I think that in the past there was some sort of rebalancing. It could be in the past that, he or she was, as I said, very comfortable and had things in balance, Sorry, I'm just trying to get exactly what these cards might be trying to say. Definitely patience and waiting. They may have had to really get their head straight here. They may have to really kind of get their head together in order to get a balance, because it looks like there was conflict in the past, and it could have been between you two, most definitely. This is more representing your energy. So you may have had a lot of arguments with each other, and the arguments would be more bickering. Now, him being the King of Swords, or her being the King of Swords kind of energy, I would say that, you know, they probably won a lot of arguments, but they probably were very unemotional in the arguments. And maybe you, as a Cancerian person, you know, you needed that person to not just talk on a very logical level, but to also acknowledge the emotional side of you and the emotional side of the relationship, which caused a kind of battle of wills. That I don't think left your partner feeling very happy, that your partner may have then kind of been cornered in some way into making a decision which they weren't really happy with. It could have been an argument about work. It could have been like, you're always at work, you're always working, you're way too focused on work. Like, we need to have a balance here. And the King of Pentacles is definitely more balanced when it comes to work and play, like work and family life. And I think balance needed to be brought in there. And I think that's what probably caused the conflict, is that, you know, this person probably was way too focused on the logical and the mental side of life, which needed balance. And it was actually causing a lot of conflict and emotional, like, repression or emotional pain and frustration. You know, and you may have said, you know, you may have been going through a kind of inner conflict, like, is this really what I want to do? Like, is this really what's making me happy? And you may have had that conversation, which maybe led to your partner saying, you know what, I'm gonna change jobs, I'm gonna change the way I work, I'm gonna just change the way I do things, I'm gonna change the way I approach the relationship, I'm not gonna just be logical, I'm not gonna be cutthroat, I'm not gonna just like talk from my headspace, I'm going to try to now talk from a more sensitive part of me. And it looks like his emotions have been tapped into here, and he has chosen a different path. Or she, I should say. It could be either way. And then there is this like new start here mentally for your partner as well. But, you know, the King of Swords is a strong character, so, you know, it makes perfect sense that the Hanged Man would be here. He's not going to change, or she's not going to change overnight. Like, it's a very powerful place to be, to have a strong logical way of thinking and to have a very objective way of thinking. It can make you quite powerful to not be caught in your emotions. So leaving that behind could be a challenge in itself, having to let go of, you know, that egotistical, not egotistical, but, you know, it probably really fed his or her ego to be in that kind of powerful position. And now Temperance is saying, actually, it's a bit too much, you know, you need to bring some balance in. Okay, so towards the end of the period, as we said, we have discussed this a little bit. Again, he'll be trying to get out of his emotions again. So he is kind of falling back, or she is kind of falling back on not being emotional. So it's almost like to get out, they're hopefully using their emotions or they're using their mental abilities now, or their mental faculties in a more positive way, hopefully, where they are now using them to kind of do a mind, like this card here talks about marrying both your emotional and mental self. It's about finding that balance. it's also about listening to your own heart, your own emotions, and really figuring them out. So it's almost like self-investigation, this card. But it's a marrying of your mind and your heart and making them work together to enable you to make better decisions for yourself going forward. So hopefully this means that your partner is going to become more balanced in terms of their emotions and their mental. Also, it's about making a decision and sticking to it. It also talks about sometimes a break in communication. So I don't know if your partner, with the Hanged Man here and the Six of Swords, you know, he may or she may need to kind of take a break, take a bit of a hiatus and be on their own. And, you know, they're having to do this. They may feel they have to do this because they need to kind of feel themselves again. They need to kind of get that leverage back again, at least within themselves mentally. They need to kind of get their edge back, because this card is about having an edge, having something over the other person, you know, but not necessarily over you. It could just be having, I think it's more internal for him because, or her, because I think that you're probably dating an air sign. Most definitely, actually. You're probably dating an air sign. That could be a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. And they may, you know, for them, you know, their gift is their logic. Just like for an earth sign, their gift is manifesting things. And for a water sign, their gift is their emotional, kind of psychic, intuitive self. And then, you know, the fire signs, their gift is enthusiasm, inspiration, and again, connection to spirit. So everyone has their gift, and no matter how much you might take a person out of a situation, that might make them more inclined to abuse their gift. Taking out situations doesn't necessarily take away that that way of being. So, you know, they could still kind of fall back on these kind of more logical, objective ways of handling their problems and handling the relationship, simply because that's kind of all they know. But the good thing is that there's emotion here too. So it's like they're trying to marry the two. They're really trying to kind of go within themselves and marry the two together to be more balanced. This may require them to take some time away from you. Or at least kind of slow down on communication so they can get themselves together. And the advice to you is a Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords is someone who's very intelligent. Oh, that's my door. 1 moment. Dear Cancerians, that was my son. Okay, so yeah, the Knight of Swords that was on. So I think in this situation you're being asked to maybe be more objective. Be flexible in your thinking. The Knight of Swords is someone who is quite brave and quite strong-minded, and is determined to reach a particular goal as well. Usually has a mission to complete. So you could be just being asked to be more brave, be resilient. Again, we did have the resiliency cards showing up here as well. So it could be that you're just being asked to be resilient and to remember what you guys are fighting for, and also to tap into your, you know, when it does come to this, don't get too emotional about it. Try to remain objective. Try and see things from their point of view. Basically, that's what I think this card is saying. You may have to switch it up a bit and be flexible. Although you may be naturally inclined to, you know, be the Queen of Cups, which is going to be needed. He is going to need that emotional support, but maybe towards the end, as he starts to come out of this and starts to become more balanced emotionally and mentally, and takes this time away, you will be required to be brave and fight for what it is that you want. So if it is this person that you want to be with, you will need to be resilient and fight for it. And that was reiterated here. And be brave about it as well. So you're gonna have to meet him halfway, or her halfway. But in all honesty, I mean, being a Cancerian, dating an air sign or someone with strong air qualities, it would tell me that you've probably got strong air in your chart as well. So yeah, hopefully it's just a case of tapping into those energies. The Knight of Swords is also related to fire, as you can see here. There's a fire blazing at the top of the tower, and swords can often be interchangeable. Swords can often, some people actually read the swords as fire energy and read wands as air energy. So again, if this was to be interpreted in a more of a fiery way, it's about letting yourself be inspired by the possibilities, and again, being brave, being dynamic, and being flexible, but most of all, being optimistic. So you may have to be the optimistic one as well, especially with the Sun card here. It talks about optimism, but the Sun card is the, they say the most one of the best cards, the most powerful kind of positive cards in the deck. So I would say that there's a lot to be gained in the future. There's still a very sunny side to this relationship, and it's very, very much blessed. So it's just about staying strong and keeping going through maybe these more challenging times, as there is it's definitely a state of flux and change. So with the Sun card, I think it's saying keep your eye on the goal. With the Knight of Swords, it's saying keep your eye on the goal as well. Remember what you're fighting for, especially if it does end up in arguments. Then you are asked to be flexible and to stand by your principles when arguing. If you do get into any sort of altercations, stand by your principles, but at the same time be flexible, if that makes sense. So know when to back down and know when not to, which ultimately means you'll know when to back down, because you'll know what you're fighting for. You'll know what end result you actually want. So you'll know which battles are worth taking and which battles are not worth taking. Hope this makes sense. Okay, then we've got these two cards, and I'll pull one more card for you. Okay, then we have Imagine, which again talks about being positive. It's funny that it's landed right on top of this. And we're just talking about, keeping your eye on the goal, possibly using your imagination, you're envisioning things to get better. And Treasure Island. So again, this talks about searching, being on a mission for the treasure, finding where X marks the spot on the map. Okay, so peace fell out. So yeah, there was arguments in the past. Temperance has come in to bring the peace back into the relationship. Again, it's a 5 card, so it's saying that yes, peace is obtainable here, but it's going to require change and resilience. The Higher Power card here again talks about this relationship being blessed. There is something higher at work here, especially with the World card here, which I think is the, I think it's the, we've only got 2 major arcana, 3 major arcana in the spread. But I would still say that in terms of foundations, there's a higher power going on here, especially mentally for your partner. They are going through kind of a real change within themselves, and this is all fated and predestined, basically. And is being guided by a higher power, so have faith, just keep a positive vision in mind and things should be fine. The Observer card So again, this is more to do with mental capability. This is observing. It could be pertaining to the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is very astute, very. He pays attention to detail. He sees everything. He's very sharp. And I think as well, in terms of the observer, it's just about you maybe towards the end, being a bit more detached and a bit more observant to things. And it could also be with the Queen of Cups here, like just observing. Observing is like more of a receptive kind of space, or receptive kind of state of being. It's not really doing, you're just kind of waiting to see what happens, looking to see how things turn out. So I think this is pertaining a lot to the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Swords in terms of you, and even possibly the Hanged Man up here. It's about observing, taking the time to look to see how things are progressing, and not getting too caught up in your emotions. We've only got one Cups card here as well, apart from the Five of Cups. So it really is, I think, about managing your emotions. The Queen of Cups is someone who manages her emotions quite well as well. So I think it is about keeping emotions in check as this goes on, and taking more of an observer approach rather than trying to interfere too much with your partner's process. It's more about observing and kind of responding as and when you need to, which is very much the Temperance card. Okay, so I hope that reading was helpful. There's quite a lot of messages in there. I hope that you gained something from it, and it was helpful in some way. If you'd like your own reading, let me know. You can contact me at symbolsforliving@gmail.com. And apart from that, please do, as I said before, like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I do really like sharing, that's my favourite. And yeah, I guess I'll see you in August for your next reading. So take very good care. Bye.